All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Friday afternoon. I had a brain fart there. I had to try and remember what day it is. I'm getting old, guys, getting old. So sorry. Trying to get this. I should have done that. Today's video du jour. I'm tired, guys. I'm beat. The new job is kicking my ass, but I do like what I do. I don't like being on the phones. I'm not a big phone talker, but I have a pretty cool job, so I get to do a lot of things. But I'm beat. You can see the bags under my eyes. I didn't sleep well. It was a rough day yesterday. So anyway, today is a much better day. I got something cool in the mail yesterday and I didn't get to really look at it. So I wanted to do a little bit of an unboxing and talk about it because I'm a fan. So this lovely box showed up in the mail, a little dinged up there by the post office. That's nothing unusual. And it may not have even been the post office because this is Dungeon in a Box Skinny Minis, and you guys have seen me do reviews. I backed both of their Kickstarters. I probably won't back anymore. I'm really cutting back on Kickstarters. I don't like waiting a year plus to get the shit I pay for. And usually when I back a Kickstarter, it's $100+ now, and that's just tying my money up too long. But that's a rant for another time. I know I tend to get off topic. Skinny Minis, Dungeon in a Box. This is not Dungeon in a Box, but you go to that website. You can also Google Skinny Minis. I'll try to put links in the doobly-doo. But this is what they sent me, a nice box. So I'm going to try and see how far I can push my camera down. Let me see what my options are. Oh, there we go. That'll work. That's not too bad. Can we do it a little more? Can we push the envelope, minis? We can. Look at that. Alrighty, so it's going to be slightly upside down, but that's okay. We'll turn the camera back up so it's shining on me. So nice little cardboard box, and I've always been happy with the boxes they use. They're usually packaged very well. So it had some nice black paper on it. We'll throw that away. So their stuff is always packaged well. I usually don't have a problem. And then it came pre-wrapped. So Dungeon in a Box, this is my receipt. Excuse me, I have a nasty cough. I don't know if it's allergies because of the pine trees and everything this year. And our winter, we're still up. It was 30-something degrees this morning, and then today it was 61. So I don't get where the weather's going. So I got some small bases red, 16 of them. I got Gem Dragon shipping box small. There's no charge for that. That's this box. The boxes are somewhat reusable, and I probably will keep this one because I do kind of like it. I got a Skinny Mini, which are flat plastic miniatures. They're called Skinny Minis. They're acrylic printed front and back. And we'll go through it. So I got Ogres and Trolls, the Wilderness Beast, and then the Demonic Gateway. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Demonic Gateway is super cool. I really like it. I can't wait to use it in one of my games. Oh, I guess I should tell you guys the cost. The total was, and it doesn't tell me. So 2020, yeah, so it was roughly $54, all said and done. So it came packaged well. I did open it up and kind of go through it, so it's a little unpacked. I'm going to remove the box just because it doesn't need to be in the way. Again, they always use black paper, which I think is kind of neat, and then it was wrapped really good. So actually, I want to get one thing and show you. This is called Mini Counters. And this was a Kickstarter that I did. And it was like 15, 20 bucks maybe. And you got this little case and you got these little things. And they have some putty on them. And they're just numbers. I don't know if you can see it that well. Yeah, you could see it there. 1 through 20 and then a couple of X's on the bottom. 5 X's on the bottom. And 1 through 20, right? And so the purpose was, if you're a GM like me and you use miniatures in your game, you pop off number 1. You got 15 orcs on the board or goblins or whatever, and then you got the leader. You can number them, and then you write down on a scratch sheet of paper, 1 through 5 for the 5 orcs that are on the table, and and then. Okay, so you're hitting, which orc are you hitting, the player? And the player says, oh, I'm hitting number 3. So you can keep track of their hit points and everything. So it was at the time, this was a couple of years ago, and I believe these guys are still in business, and it's Monger Games, Monger Games.com, mongergames.com. this is neat. I still use this from time to time, and I really enjoy it. But Skinny Minis came out with a thing in their last Kickstarter where they started doing numbered colored bases. So most of Skinny Minis bases are clear, and you guys have seen them. They look just like this, but they're clear. But if you look at these, what's neat is they are numbered, right? So I've got 1 through 8, I think, or 1 through 10 or something, and now I have 1 through 16. So I've got plenty of these, and they're red bases, whereas the normal hero bases are clear. And you just put them right in that center slot right there. They just pop right in. And I'll put one on a base here in a minute. They have different size bases. Now, I didn't notice if they make these in like, this is a normal size creature, so a medium sized creature. This is their base. They make bigger bases for large, huge, and gigantic. So they take up the appropriate amount of space on a D&D or a Pathfinder or any game where you're using, 1 inch is 5 feet. So these things, while, and any of you who've watched any of my videos, you know I'm not a huge fan of Skinny Mini or Dungeon in a Box just because their customer service sucks ass. There's just no polite way to put it. The Kickstarter was ran okay. It wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't a phenomenal, Kickstarter. I wasn't like so impressed with it, but I like the product itself. These things do not scratch. I mean, if you put a sharp blade to them, it will scratch them. But you could take your fingernail and you will not scratch off the image on here. And they have a front and a back. So I'm running Troubles in Otari and for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and I needed certain monsters. I don't want to say what they are because some of my players do watch my videos. Most of them, I think, are subscribed. They better be, or there'll be damage coming in. Everyone's going to take 35 hit points right off the bat. I'm kidding, of course, but yeah. So anyway, I digress. So anyway, these things, like I said, are pretty snazzy. So I'm just going to pop one off. Like, oh, sweet! Look at this, a mimic. I don't think I have any mimics. And like I said, I did back their first 2 Kickstarters, so I have a ton of stuff. I got like a whole bunch of orcs. I got a bunch of kobolds. I got a bunch of goblins. It was just whatever they decided to do in the Kickstarter. So as you can see, you pop the miniature out. There's a number on the base, and you just stick it in, and it's in there. And you've got, there's a front to the mini, and there's a back to the mini. So while it's 2D, it is high quality art. I do like the style of art that they use. They stand up very well. I haven't had one break on me yet. And the quality is pretty awesome. Like here's an Odiog, whatever you want to call it. We got a werewolf. We got, I don't even know. Oh, I think that's an ooze of some kind. But look at the Odiog. That's pretty snazzy. I mean, I have a 3D Odiog, from D&D Miniatures, the pre-painted plastics, and it looks like shit. But I will say when you put it on a table, everybody knows what it is. But look at that. That's painted. It's really nice. Now, it's not 3D, but it is 2D. And again, you can pop out a base, and you can throw this on the table, and you've got your representation of an Odiog, or however you want to say it. And the players know exactly what they're facing. So I got, let's see. So this one came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 miniatures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 miniatures for $20. That's still cheaper than Games Workshop. That's still cheaper than, buying, plastic miniatures that you have to put together and paint, or it's still cheaper than Reaper, and I really like the Reaper Bones line, but some of their miniatures aren't available in the Bones material, and some of their lead stuff isn't up to snuff, I feel, for my game. And as much as I love painting miniatures, right now I just don't have the time. I have 5 character miniatures I need to paint, and all I've got is a base coat on them. So I bought this set, which I think is the Woodland Creatures or something like that, and it has, like I said, some critters in there. I bought this set, if I can get it out of the plastic. This is another thing. I hate the plastic they use, but it is, I mean, they do it to protect it, but it is what it is. I think this is the Ogres and Trolls, which again, I didn't have any. And I mean, yeah, these look amazing. Look at that. That's pretty good quality. And again, front and back. So, if you're sitting at the table, they look pretty good on the table. These are the Ogres, and I think there's one troll and there's 2 trolls and 2 ogres. So I've got a plethora of, Ogres and Trolls, and if you haven't tried these out, I'll tell you, obviously having printed miniature or painted miniatures yourself is amazing. Everybody loves, and I'm a fairly decent painter, but I just don't have the time. So I have quite a bit of these skinny minis, and I got to say, yeah, I spent $50 on these miniatures, and it's kind of a lot, but it's stuff I'm going to get a lot of use out of, because you can always use trolls. This is the Demon Gate, as you can see. So we're gonna put it together on camera. How's that? How's that sound, guys? We'll get some use out of this. And if you were, super thrifty or whatever, you could use this for something. I'm sure you can make a 3D representation of a portal. You could find a use for it. But let's see if we can figure out how this goes. And this stuff kind of snaps out. You got to be a little careful. If you got young kids, be careful. Help them, because these edges are sharp. I would hate to see anybody get cut. But yeah, you can properly dispose of this in the recycle bin. You could keep it to make, I don't know, if you're crafty or whatever, you can make stuff out of it. I have no idea how this goes. I'm winging it. I'm going to say that this looks like the stands. This probably is some sort of leads up to it, like the steps. Let's see, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say it would go something like, I mean, obviously I have a picture of it that I could go look at, but I don't have that picture handy right now. So let's see if us Luddites, and again, printed on both sides. So, you got 3D, it doesn't matter. Put it together, it's going to look pretty nice. That looks pretty solid, and I think if I had to hazard a guess, I would say this goes like this, and then this goes like this. Yeah, I would say that's pretty close. And there you go. You have your 3D representation of a Demon's Gate. How freaking cool. And that's the back side of it, and that's the front side. So, you can put it here, and your miniatures can actually just, they can go up, I'm doing it too fast. It's not in there right. It's at an angle. But you get the point here. And I put it together hastily. That one's not in there right. It's actually angled down. So it should be angled up. Yeah, there we go. And then that goes in like that. It's still angled on. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it right now. But, and the thing is, what's nice is this all pulls apart and stores flat. I can put that, I have a binder over there, and I can put everything in a binder, and I can be done with it. It's all stored away flat for the most part, and I don't have to sweat it. I got all this stuff ready for my next session when I play again. And I got a little bit of recycle, no big deal. You can pop all these out. You can see they're super easy. And I keep one of the cases over there that came with the Kickstarter. It's just a cardboard case, but or a cardboard box. I should say. It's not even a case. It's a cardboard box. I keep a couple of these on my GM dice board. I have a little thing that I roll dice in and stuff. And I keep them out there so that I can, because, I only need 4 or 5 at a time. But what's nice is, now that I've got up to 16 of these, plus the original, I want to say 6, but maybe it was more, I have that are ready to, so I've got plenty, is what I'm saying. And, you could have 2 number ones, and I'm happy with this, and I like the red. And you can get different colors. I believe you can get orange, green, and black. Yeah, and yellow. There was a neon yellow one. So you can see they've all popped out. There's all the trash. I'm just throwing it in my little garbage can right here. There's my mic. And see, I got numbers 1 through 16. So the hardest part you got to worry about here is keeping the numbers straight. But it's clearly, I mean, even with my shitty eyesight, I can read that's a number 3. And this is number 12. So, I mean, it's pretty good. And like I said, they just pop right on, you know, and you just pull them off. And then they store flat in a binder. You know, try to go back in the archive there and watch the video. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think it's bang for the buck. I like it. Like I said, Dungeon in a Box customer service leaves a lot to be desired. But if you just want to go on there and buy some quick miniatures, you know, that are acrylic, that are going to stand up, you can see they're pretty thick. And like I said, there's a front and a back. You're not going to scratch these. I've got nails. And I mean, you can hear there's a texture. The other side is smooth. You can barely hear me scratching it. So yeah, they're coated somehow, but they're very well done, and they're going to last. I don't even remember when I backed the original Kickstarter for the first ones. I want to bring the camera up now, back to my ugly mug, so you guys can see this handsome guy right here. I'll add some light to the scene. Hey, look. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment. Do you use these? Arknight Studio, I think it's Arknight Studios, Arknight Miniatures. They make their own version of flat plastic miniatures. They're acetate though, and they're flexible. They hold up really well too. They're just as expensive, and on some of their sets, they're actually a little more expensive. You do get a lot of bang for your buck with them, though, I will say that. And I do like them. It's just, I had bought some of those. I gave them to my friend Bobby because he was running Pathfinder for his Boy Scout troop, and he didn't have any miniatures. So, and he was using the Pogs, the Pathfinder Pogs, and I think the Pathfinder Pogs suck. That's just my opinion. And so I gave him all of my Arknight miniatures because I had started with those, and then I saw this Kickstarter for the first one. They've had 2 Kickstarters since, and they do have a web store now where you can go on, and I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. I'm not sponsored by them because, like I said, I'm not happy with their customer service. Clearly, that's why I canceled my Dungeon in a Box. They have a Dungeon in a Box subscription, and you can ask for Pathfinder, and every time I ask for Pathfinder stuff, they send me D&D stuff. So it's very much a lack of quality control, and they don't care. And like one time, they sent me the same box 3 times in a row after me each time contacting them and telling them, you sent me the wrong box. They kept sending it to me. So they just don't give a shit, in my opinion. And I'm not going to support a company like that in that way. Now, buying a flat of 12 to 18 miniatures, because if they're smaller miniatures, you get more on a sheet. I think it's worth the buck. I think the price is okay. I got 12 miniatures for $19.95. I think that's reasonable. And I get a lot of use out of these. I use my miniatures. I use them every other Saturday night. I use these. And probably when I retire in the next couple of years, I'll be using them more because I will be gaming more because I'm retired and I don't have to get my fat ass up and go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Which, God, that day can't come soon enough, let me tell you. But be that as it may, who knows if that day will ever come, but it is what it is. I like the material. I like the quality of the material. I don't like the customer service. And they have shown me no willingness to change. And I've been dealing with these guys for a couple of years now. I've tried their Dungeon in a Box twice, and both times they fucked it up. And I don't have any patience for bad customer service. I work in customer service. I'm an IT professional, and everybody in my company is my customer. And if I treated them the way Dungeon in a Box treated me, I would be fired. So I have no tolerance for that. So that's just me. That's my little rant on that. I'm very happy with this stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, I am tickled pink, and I'm looking for any excuse to break out this Demon Gate. The players will probably shit a brick if I do, but it's freaking cool. And imagine just popping that out on the table. Whenever you can pop out 3D terrain or 3D miniatures, you know, even in this case 2D miniatures, but physical miniature representations. It always adds a little spiciness to the game, which I like, and I think my players like it. So I'm excited to be able to use all this stuff and see where it goes. I'm happy with it. I think the quality is the bang for buck there is there for me, and I'm happy with it. So I'm looking forward to using some of this stuff in the upcoming adventure. We play tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to it a bunch. I actually, every 2 weeks, we play bi-weekly, and I get excited as it gets closer and closer to game night. So we are definitely there. Tomorrow is game night, and I have 5 awesome players. One of the guys drives an hour and a half. That's crazy to me, but you know, kudos to him, and I thank him very much. It's very nice of him to make that commitment to play, and it's just they enjoy themselves, and it's very rewarding as a GM and as a friend to have my friends come over every 2 weeks, and I can set them up in my house and we can play, and it's a lot of fun. So I think pretty much that covers everything, aside from me making a lot of noise from cellophane wrap, which is probably quite annoying, and I kind of sort of apologize. But I am Mr. Mean, and that's the quality you expect. So I like to deliver. So next weekend is Mother's Day. I'm going out of town, taking my wife to a little bed and breakfast. So I hope everyone treats their moms if they're around. My mom is gone, but my wife is a mom, and so I want to lavish on her as much as I would have lavished on my mother, but she is no longer with us. And to all of us that have lost their mothers, just remember they're still with you in your heart. So with that, I will say peace and hair grease. And remember, as always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. Tell your friends, spread the meanie word, join the Discord, use my affiliate link on DriveThru. All the links will be down in the doobly-doo. And as always, peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice.